Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and today we are reviewing Piglet by Lottie Hazell. Piglet by Lottie Hazell is a debut novel that was released in April 2024, so I have just finished it. It's been out for a couple weeks now, and this was a pretty hyped release for, I think, most people in the literary fiction space. I had this on my radar for a while, and then I got it in my Aardvark book box. Piglet is a contemporary fiction novel following our protagonist, who is called Piglet by her friends and family, and she is a woman who is living a rather lavish lifestyle. She has a fiance, a nice house in Oxford, she has a great job in London, she works as a cookbook editor, so she is very fascinated with food and the artistry of it, and she's just in general really enjoying her life. She is right on the cusp of getting married and everything is looking up when she receives some news from her fiance that turns her life upside down. This book really is a quiet character study about a woman who is pushed to extremes due to the pressures of society and feeling that no matter what she does, she can just not be satisfied. This book goes into discussions about body image and Piglet's relationship with food and how that relationship changes as her surroundings and her environment really changes for, frankly, the worst after she receives this news from her fiance. Getting into what I liked about this book, I think that for a debut novel, this is a really interesting story to tell. It takes a look at a person with a relationship with food that I think many people will find relatable. I definitely found it very emotional at times, which I appreciated. And in general, Lottie Hazell does a great job of using kind of subtlety and very recognizable elements of dialogue that anybody who is kind of dealing with this particular kind of relationship with food and their body, they would recognize very quickly. And I really enjoyed the subtlety of that commentary. I also love that this is leading up to her wedding, and really her wedding is the focus of this story. It is the driver of the plot, and I think that having that very specific event that so many women are constantly thinking about and feeling certain pressures to live up to that specific day, I think that is a great framework for this story in particular. I felt that the discussions were relevant and poignant, and I definitely related a lot to Piglet in many different ways as a woman and also just as a human being, feeling all of the emotions that she feels when she is put in this impossible situation. And now onto some of my critiques. So again, this is a debut novel and there's always going to be pitfalls with debut novels. I think more often than not there is. And while I think Lottie Hazell's writing is fine, I did feel that there was a certain kind of flat or hazy quality to the writing style. It felt like I was really being kept at arm's length from our protagonist Piglet. And that does feel a little bit odd because we are so closely tied to her. We are really in her internal thoughts. And yet I still felt like I was a little bit emotionally distant from this character, and that kind of was a problem for me considering how sensitive the topics are within this book and also how relatable as a character Piglet is. Like, for someone so relatable, we should be feeling who this character is very intrinsically, and I just didn't quite get that. For some reason I felt a little bit distant from her, even though the entire point was to understand who she was. I also really wanted the descent into Piglet's, not madness exactly, but her breakdown to feel more emotionally impactful. And when it did happen, I just felt like we didn't quite have the build-up, the specific tension that I wanted to feel when we reached that breaking point. So I think, again, that is part of just something about the writing style, in my opinion, just didn't connect us quite enough with this character. And on the themes, like I said, this book has a lot of really strong discussion and I love the subtlety of the commentary, but at some point I really wish that we could have delved deeper into those themes, especially because this is a book about something that so many women face. I think pretty much any woman who reads this story will find something relatable in here, and I think because of the universal quality to this story, I really wish that we could have just gone deeper into all of these topics. In the end, I found this to be a fine debut, and if you are interested in the subject matter, in the story, I would definitely say give it a try. But ultimately, I was feeling a little bit unsatisfied. I wish there could have been more to these conversations. I wish we could have understood who Piglet is a little bit deeper, and I wish that there had been more moments of tension leading up to the big moment. But I did find this pretty easy to digest, and I'm very interested to see what Lottie Hazell does next. My final rating for this book was a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Let me know down in the comments below, have you read Piglet or are you going to pick it up? If you have read it, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me for another recent release review. I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.